Krystal,
Yes.
what are you taking a look at?
Well, guys, I got a little mystery for you today. Take a look at this map. So this was recently published in an economics paper. It was analyzed here by the Washington Post. This shows the nation's average credit scores by county. Dark blue is bad, mustard brown, I guess you'll call that, is good, and an obvious trend leaps off the page. The South as a region has abysmal credit scores. Starting in Southern Virginia and in Appalachia and creeping all the way down to the panhandle of Florida and over to Texas, you see a whole lot of people who are struggling with a lot of debt. Now, you might think this is a really simple story of class, and in a sense it is. Overall, places with higher poverty do have lower credit scores, but this dynamic did not come close to accounting for this highly regional and very specific phenomena. Even in wealthy areas in the South, people had lower FICO scores than their Midwestern counterparts. Now, that's a terrible situation for Southerners. There are few things as pernicious as debt for constraining your life choices and crippling you with stress and anxiety. Throughout history, debt has actually been used as a tool of control. You can think of the company store in mining towns where workers would end up with debts they could not pay and effectively working as indentured servants. Or you can think about the IMF and the World Bank, which lend developing countries money, and then they use that debt as leverage to force shock doctrine, neoliberal policies onto them. When a person is in debt, their freedom is constrained. Now, debt and bad credit can quickly mount into financial ruin and personal disaster. How are you going to finance a car when yours dies? How are you going to get an apartment? And for those who are already behind financially, a low credit score means you will be paying brutally high interest rates, helping to feed a cycle where you just get further and further behind. So, what is causing this regional crisis of debt and of bad credit? Well, let me show you another map that is going to make it pretty clear. This one is also courtesy of the Washington Post here, and it's a map of medical debt. According to credit data from the Urban Institute that's quoted in this article, 92 of the 100 counties with the highest share of adults struggling with medical debt, they're all in the South. The remainder are in neighboring states Oklahoma and Missouri. Now, when you think about it, it makes total sense. Medical debt is the #1 cause of bankruptcy in America, and the total size of this crushing debt burden, it's actually even bigger than we had previously imagined. Recent research found that $140 billion in medical debt is now in collections. That's nearly double previous estimates from back in 2016. Between 2009 and 2020, medical debt actually became the single largest source of debt that is currently held by collections agencies. Now, I want you to understand, other wealthy nations would look at this as utter insanity and a moral atrocity, because it is. We ruin people, we destroy their lives because they happen to get sick. And there's a very specific reason why southern states are the ones with the highest levels of medical debt and the worst attendant credit scores. It's not an accident, it's not about overall poverty, it is a specific political choice. These are the states where governors decided they would rather virtue signal about how much they hate Obama than expand Medicaid as part of the Affordable Care Act. Now look, I am not a big fan of Obamacare as it left the status quo system largely unchanged, with health insurers, hospitals, every other part of the for-profit healthcare system feeding like pigs at the trough while patients continue to get screwed. But Obamacare was an improvement over the previous corrupt, disgusting, immoral system. And now, after having been law for over a decade, states that went forward with the full Medicaid expansion have significantly separated from states that did not on that metric of medical debt. According to the New York Times, the states that have declined to expand Medicaid, particularly in the South, started out having more medical debt before Obamacare passed, and since other states have expanded Medicaid, that chasm has grown wider. In 2020, Americans living in states that did not expand Medicaid owed an average of $375 more than those in states that participated in the program. That is roughly a 30% increase from the gap that existed the year before enactment. Now, you could see on that chart how the sooner you expanded Medicaid to cover working class people, the better as a state you're faring on medical debt. But let's not forget, the existence of such a chart at all is a total failure. It's not just in the South, where politicians have made political choices that have immiserated their constituents. It's the entire nation. Debt and the poor credit scores that come along with it are real constraints on freedom and the ability to pursue happiness. We all deserve the freedom to go to the doctor when we need to be able to take off work to recover, and to not have our lives ruined because we happen to get sick. Nearly everyone accepts this, yet nothing changes. Not because we can't make other choices, but because political elites, bankrolled by those who profit off the current system, do everything in their power to block change and convince you that it's all impossible. These regional disparities, highlighted so graphically on that map, They are a sharp reminder that we are not just powerless as a nation to improve the condition of our people's lives. Different policy choices lead to starkly, measurably different outcomes. And the different outcome I want to see is zero medical debt for anyone, anywhere. And I thought this was really fascinating. I wouldn't have put the pieces together. Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now. And Sagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us. And if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.